So I have Daniel Murray here. We're at the Volvo Grand Tour at Chrome Supply Warehouse. How you doing today, Daniel?
Not bad, you?
Good. So you're a driver. Drivers don't seem to want to talk to me. I don't understand that. But anyway, how long have you been driving?
About 6 years.
6 years. And we're in Belleville. You work for a company. Do you want to say the company? You don't have to.
Greenland Transport.
Okay. And what's your job? Are you highway, city? What do you do?
I'm actually regional. Like, I only go to Toronto and Montreal. I quit. I quit driving long haul, especially when they offered me more money doing day cab work. So I started working as a company driver for Randland as their day cab driver, and I actually hope to own with them someday because they have a really good owner-operator package.
Okay, so they treat you pretty good. They got some really nice equipment. I've seen it going down the road. So how did you get on with Randland? Did you know somebody there? Like, did you go to a truck driving school?
I actually did. When I first got my license, I actually got my DZ and heavy equipment license, and I only landed seasonal work, and I wanted to get into something full-time, and so I actually went to transport training centers, and they wanted to charge me a whole lot of money to get my license, and I says, I already got my license for like dump trucks and whatnot, so they says, okay, well, the only thing you can do is pretty much talk to one of the drivers downstairs, so I did. And he says, just, pay me $30 and we'll go for a trip. So I did that. And then he says, you know what? Pay me $600 that we'll go around a few times and then I'll take you for a license. So I did that and I got my AZ.
So you went in the back door the way that not everybody else is supposed to go. But so that was 6 years ago. And then how did you get into a company after that?
It actually was quite a hard experience. Nobody in Belleville wanted to hire me because I was so green, right? So I actually went to KBD in Iroquois, Ontario. And I started working for them. And after a year, I worked for Moretrans through a driver actually at the Tin Acre, and who actually said he liked my truck. And then we started talking, and he says, you drive all the way to Iroquois to drive? And I'm like, I've been doing it for a year. He's like, you should talk to Moretrans. So then after that, everything hit off and started working for them. And then I had enough of New York City, so I went over to Cooney, and it was a fairly good experience, but it was hard being gone for a long time, especially with a young son. So I actually started driving a dump truck again for Fitzgibbon, okay. And then thinking it was going to be more of a long-term thing, but it was still only seasonal, and Stephanie doesn't work, so I needed something better income-wise. So I talked to Daryl, and he says, I have so much day cab work, for you right now, come and see me. And within like the first hour I was hired, and the next week I started working for them. And it's very hard work. Sometimes boundaries are pushed, but for the most part it's very, very good. And they take care of you, but you definitely have to work for them, or it's not a place for you. That's for sure.
Okay, so how long have you been doing the regional? About 3 years or so?
Oh no, I just started for them in November.
Oh, so you're brand new. Okay, so you were running highway and stuff for Moretrans, right?
It was. Moretrans, I was starting, KBD was highway, Moretrans was highway, and Cooney was highway. Randland's the only one that's day cab.
Okay, so now you're running regional, which is a pretty sweet ride. Belleville to Montreal is a pretty cool day, right?
It is. It's just sometimes the drivers down there can be a little bit irksome.
Okay, careful, because my wife is French. We're both going to get in trouble if you go on with that one. Anyway.
No, Toronto's worse. And that's not even a lie. Toronto's worse.
I know. We just came through Toronto. So what is there a difference? So the show is for new drivers. There's a lot of new drivers. 0 to 5 years experience is our prime market. What would you tell them about choosing a company? You've been through a few companies now. What would you suggest when you're choosing a company? What would you look for?
Pay is very important, but you also want to make sure they have well-kept equipment. And my experience with big companies, they can advertise a lot of good perks, RSPs, all that stuff. But I find that you're more of a number, and it's not a very personal basis. And I actually have found working at Ranlin, which only has, I think, around 60. Don't quote me, but I think they have around 60 drivers. I find they have good pay. It's not the best out there, but it is really good pay. You work hard, but you're more of, it's almost like a family, you know, everybody watches for each other. And to me, that I could give up a couple dollars for that.
Yeah, that's really important, because I've worked for big companies, small companies, a lot of the family style, like what you're talking about, and I've always enjoyed those. Probably the only problem is if you want to move into the office or somewhere, there's not usually anywhere to go until someone passes away, right?
That is very true, yes, for sure, yes.
So you're running regional now, so now you're here at the Volvo event, you're just kind of looking at trucks, thinking about possibly getting into the owner-operator world. What's making you think about going to that leap?
I have plans. Like I'm in it for the long haul. Like I am a driver, and that's the only thing I know. I don't want to fall back. Like I don't have a fallback, and I want to do the best I can in it. And it's always been a dream since I was 8 years old, when I was actually living in China, I don't want to just have a truck so I can buy all sorts of stuff, you know, like I don't want to have that. Don't want to do that. It's a goal. Like I want to pay my house off quicker. I want to save more for an earlier retirement. I want to send my son through college without any worries. That's very important to me. And also the specific kind of truck that I would be looking at is to help maximize, efficiency so I can get there, closer. It isn't easy to do that. It's going to be difficult, but it is for a good cause. And I think if you're going to be in it, a lot of guys say, oh, just hang the keys up, it's their truck, whatever, don't worry about it. But for me, it's more than that. Like I would like to have my own. I want it to be personal. I also want to, like I said, do the best in the career I have chosen, and I find if you get the right company, the right truck, you can really excel in that.